Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 6, Book 60, number 318. Narrated by Aisha. Sauda, the wife of the Prophet, went out to answer the call of nature after it was made obligatory for all the Muslims ladies to observe the veil. She was a fat, huge lady, and everybody who knew her before could recognize her. So, Umar bin al-Khattab saw her and said, "O Sauda, by Allah, you cannot hide yourself from us, so think of a way by which you should not be recognized on going out." Sauda returned, "While Allah's apostle was in my house taking his supper and a bone covered with meat was in his hand." She entered and said, "O Allah's apostle, I went out to answer the call of nature and Umar said to me so and so." Then Allah inspired him, the Prophet, and when the state of inspiration was over and the bone was still in his hand as he had not put him down, he said to Sauda, "You, women, have been allowed to go out for your needs." Volume 6, Book 60, number 319. Narrated by Aisha. Afla, the brother of Abi al-Qays, asked permission to visit me after the order of al-Hijab was revealed. I said, "I will not permit him unless I take permission of the Prophet about him, for it was not the brother of Abi al-Kash, but the wife of Abi al-Kash that nursed me." The Prophet entered upon me, and I said to him, "O Allah's apostle, Allah, the brother of Abi al-Kash asked permission to visit me, but I refused to permit him unless I took your permission." The Prophet said, "What stopped you from permitting him? He is your uncle." I said, "O Allah's apostle, the man was not the person who had nursed me, but the woman, the wife of Abi al-Kash had nursed me." He said, "Admit him, for he is your uncle. Tarabat Yamanuki, may your right hand be saved." Urwa, the sub-narrator, added, "For that, Aisha used to say, consider those things which are illegal because of blood relations as illegal because of the corresponding foster relations." Volume 6, Book 60, number 320. Narrated by Khabib bin Ujra. It was said, "O Allah's apostle, we know how to greet you, but how to invoke Allah for you?" The Prophet said, "Say, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadan wa ala ali Muhammadan, kama sallaita ala al Ibrahim, innaka Hamidun Majid." Volume 6, Book 60, number 321. Narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. We said, "O Allah's apostle, we know this greeting to you, but how shall we invoke Allah for you?" He said, "Say, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadan, abdika wa rasulika kama sallaita ala al Ibrahim wa barak ala Muhammadan wa ala al Muhammadan kama barakta ala al Ibrahim." Al-Layth said, "Ala Muhammadan wa ala al Muhammadan kama barakta ala al Ibrahim." Volume 6, Book 60, number 322. Narrated by Ibn Abi Hazim and ad-Darawardi. Yazid said, "Kama sallaita ala Ibrahima wa barak ala Muhammad in wa al Muhammadan kama barakta ala Ibrahima wa al Ibrahim." Volume 6, Book 60, number 323. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's apostle said, "Moses was a shy man, and that is what the statement of Allah means. O you who believe, be not like those who annoyed Moses. But Allah proved his innocence of that which they alleged, and he was honorable in Allah's sight." 33.69. Volume 6, Book 60, number 324. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's Prophet said, "When Allah decrees some order in the heaven, the angels flutter their wings, indicating complete surrender to his saying, which sounds like chains being dragged on rock. And when the state of fear disappears, they ask each other, 'What has your Lord ordered?' They say that he has said that which is true and just, and he is the Most High, the Most Great." 34.23. Then the stealthy listeners, devils, hear this order, and these stealthy listeners are like this, one over the other. Sufyan, a sub-narrator, demonstrated that by holding his hand upright and separating the fingers. A stealthy listener hears a word which he will convey to that which is below him, and the second will convey it to that which is below him, till the last of them will convey it to the wizard or foreteller. Sometimes a flame, fire, may strike the devil before he can convey it, and sometimes he may convey it before the flame, fire, strikes him, whereupon the wizard adds to that word 100 lies. The people will then say, "Didn't he, i.e. magician, tell such and such a thing on such and such date?" So that magician is said to have told the truth because of the statement which has been heard from the heavens. Volume 6, Book 60, number 325. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. One day the Prophet ascended Safa mountain and said, "O Saba." All the Quraysh gathered round him and said, "What is the matter?" He said, "Look, if I told you that an enemy is going to attack you in the morning or in the evening, would you not believe me?" They said, "Yes, we will believe you." He said, "I am a warner to you in face of a terrible punishment." On that Abu Lahab said, "May you perish. Is it for this thing that you have gathered us?" So Allah revealed, "Perish the hands of Abu Lahab." 111.1. Volume 6, Book 60, number 326. Narrated by Abu Dar. Once I was with the Prophet in the mosque at the time of sunset. The Prophet said, "O Abu Dar, do you know where the sun sets?" I replied, "Allah and his apostle know best." He said, "It goes and prostrates underneath Allah's throne, and that is Allah's statement, and the sun runs on its fixed course for a term, decreed. And that is the decree of Almighty, the All-Knowing." 36.38. Volume 6, Book 60, number 327. Narrated by Abu Dar. I asked the Prophet about the statement of Allah, and the sun runs on fixed course for a term, decreed. 36.38. He said, its course is underneath Allah's throne. Prostration of sun, trees, stars. Mentioned in Quran and Hadith does not mean like our prostration, but it means that these objects are obedient to their creator, Allah, and they obey for what they have been created for. Volume 6, Book 60, number 328. Narrated by Abdullah. Allah's apostle said, "Nobody has the right to be better than Jonah bin Matta." Volume 6, Book 60, number 329. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, "He who says that I am better than Jonah bin Matta, tells a lie." Volume 6, Book 60, number 330. Narrated by Al-Awwam. I asked Muhajjid regarding the prostration in Surah Sad. He said, Ibn Abbas was asked the same question and he said, "Those are they, the prophets, whom Allah had guided. So follow their guidance." 6.90. Ibn Abbas used to perform a prostration on reading this surah. Volume 6, Book 60, number 331. Narrated by Al-Awwam. I asked Mujahid regarding the prostration in Surah Sad. He said, I asked Ibn Abbas, "What evidence makes you prostrate?" He said, "Don't you recite?" And among his progeny, David and Solomon. 6.84. Those are they whom Allah had guided. So follow their guidance. 6.90. So David was the one of those prophets whom Prophet Muhammad was ordered to follow. David prostrated, so Allah's apostle Muhammad performed this prostration too. Volume 6, Book 60, number 332. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, "Last night a demon from the jinns came to me," or the Prophet said, a similar sentence, "to disturb my prayer, but Allah gave me the power to overcome him. I intended to tie him to one of the pillars of the mosque till the morning so that all of you could see him. But then I remembered the statement of my brother Solomon, my Lord. Forgive me and bestow on me a kingdom such as shall not belong to any other after me. 38.35. The narrator added, then he, the Prophet, dismissed him, rejected. Nor am I one of the pretenders, a person who pretends things which do not exist. 38.86.